got.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another match preview. You guys know what time it is by now. We got Newcastle tonight, and people, things aren't looking so good over these sides. It might be Thomas Frank's last game in a Spurs shirt. And some people think that I'm not being serious when I say this, but it might actually be his last game. Not just in the fans' mind, but I feel like in a lot of people's head, they are ready to give up on Thomas Frank. This currently a very, very poor run of form where we've only got 4 points in our last 6 Premier League games, going up and against opponent in Newcastle tonight, who we always struggle against in particular, but most definitely away from home at St. James's Park. Already got a win against us a few weeks ago in the League Cup. Quite comfortable in that game, you could say the 2-0 win was. And now we got to go back up there, another trip to see if we can get revenge, but more importantly, build some momentum, because we're going into a period of over the next 2 to 3 months where we've got games upon games upon games, and I need to see something because my hope is dying. It's running out. You guys know me, super optimist. Yeah, Thomas the Frank engine, chew. I ain't chewing shit right now. We've pulled the handbrake up like Arteta because the handbrake is on, but this train might crash. Yeah, you know when you've seen in the movies, we need Spider-Man, cuz. We need Spider-Man right now to save us because it's not looking good. The conductor cannot control this train. This train hasn't got rhythm. This train system is broken. It breaks the defense. It would look so good at the start. You're thinking, yo, new car, this shit's locking straight in. Now you're putting your foot on the brake. You're hearing that noise, that scrape against the floor. If you're a driver, you know. It's not looking good. But more importantly, our attack is dreadful. And I heard Thomas Frank say something in his press conference that we're going to go through, because I know I haven't done it in a while, probably going back to Ange's press conferences, but we've not been breaking down the press conferences. So got the pre-match press conference up for the Newcastle game. We are going to break that down very slightly, go into some of the things that he said, and obviously we're going to do some predicted lineups for this game, as we always do. Score lines. So if you want to drop your predictions in the chat, just feel free to throw them in there and I'll bring them up at the end of the show when we get round to it. Big up to everyone inside. Make sure you guys are smashing the likes on your way in over here. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. You know, it don't take a second. It don't cost you nothing. Tell a friend, subscribe to your boy Durag Diaries. And then away from that, what was I gonna get to? You know, I can't even lie. Still ill. You can scan right here to buy me. We're not really doing coffees right now. This is herbal tea. We're doing up chamomile tea. So we've been on the herbal teas for like the past week. Starting to like it. The taste is actually starting to be nice. So don't scan it to buy me a coffee, but you can scan it to buy me a tea, you know, if you're feeling extra helpful. And that's what I was going to get onto. We need to have a talk. Before we even go further into Tottenham, into what's going on, we need to have a talk. Because recently, people, I can't lie, I've not been happy. Not been happy during my lives. We've got all types of madnesses going on in the chat. All types of beef. All types of emails are getting dropped to locations for all sorts of madnesses over no quids. Yeah. The people them over in Durag Diaries chat, the delinquents, the descendants, the moderators. I need to see better from you. And I know, look, I'm seeing people in here at the moment I can't even get on to any of you guys because the decorum is very much demure. Is that what they say, the females and shit? No, but you guys are pretty fine in here. But over the past couple weeks, a week or two, I know Spurs is toxic. I'm really starting to realize that Spurs have such a toxic fan base. But more in particular, in the chat, you might have been moving crazy, man. I need my moderators to stop banning people. Stop banning. Because I even went through my hidden list the other day. There was bare hidden. Way too many hiddens. We're trying to get to this 5K, fam. Stop hiding people up into the place. Yeah? If you, man, can't take the heat, don't talk shit. Simple as that, yeah? I'll be so real. But most of the accounts that are banned are like troll accounts, so that's fine. But more importantly, I just see consistently in the chat, bruv. Oh, this person's getting timed out. This one's getting timed out. This one's getting timed out. I'm generally... Let me have a sip. I don't like what you're saying, but you're speaking facts. I'll give it to Touchline. Can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen. Don't start throwing smoke if you're not someone that can take smoke. That's just in general. You see me, I talk a lot of shit on streams because I can take it when people are coming back my way to talk shit to me. So I just need a little bit more decorum. Yeah, I can't have people in my chat talking about this chat is toxic, this chat's not controlled, Jords this, Jords that. And I see everything that's going on during the streams. I just don't address it. Respectfully, we got hooks on. When we got panelists on, even like tonight when we bring Jimmy and Joey on, we're here to indulge in the panelists, find out what they say. If you guys have got questions, throw questions in the chat. I bring that up all the time. You guys see me, I try to interact as much as we can. But one thing I can't have, and half of the time when I'm reading, I'm just going to ignore the chat, then people are just fucking beefing. We're too grown to be beefing in YouTube chats, bruv. So please, like, I don't ever see abuse in the chat to myself or panelists because that's the only thing that you guys know. I say time out for that. But away from that, don't time nobody out. The timing out thing is actually dead. It's so dead. Timing someone out, unless it's like, you hear me, you might say, oh, I'm being funny. Let's time someone out for 30 seconds. Like a 60-second timeout, cool. But when man all doing 10, 15-minute timeouts, just beefing, it's so childish, bro. So, chat, I know that I'm not referencing any person in particular, but the people them know who I'm referencing because they do this stuff. I haven't seen anyone inside so far, but please, just let's have a bit more decorum with this because I appreciate everyone in here. I want to be able to speak to everyone. I want everyone to get their words out, but I don't want anyone to feel like they can't come in here because they got beef with a fucking another chatbot. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So I just need to address that. I generally need to address that because I ain't had the time to. I don't know. I've not been as active. But we're back now. We're trying to get active. And yeah, man, look, let me come to the chat whilst we're on that. Big up to Mustafa in the building every single time. You know, that decorum, demure, Mustafa is the definition of that. Mustafa's been in this channel, probably one of the first people in this channel. I don't even think I've ever seen Mustafa time anybody out. I generally don't think I've ever seen Mustafa time anybody out, fam. And he's probably one of the first moderators. So, like, yeah, man, let's be more like Mustafa. Tough game, St. James. Frank has to be proactive in this game. Mickey Romero have to keep Voldemort out of the game. As he's a threat, so is Barnes. Barnes has been a huge problem. Barnes has been a huge problem recently. We're going to have to deal with him out on the wing, whether it's probably on the left-hand side. Pedro Porro is going to get skinned by him. I'm pretty sure in the first game, was it Barnes that chopped it inside and rasped it? I think it might have been, you know. So Barnes is going to be a problem. We need to deal with him, but we're going to get onto Voltamada and how we stop him later on today. Big up, Jords. Big up to my guy, TG TV, Tyrell Gunner. Big up to my guy, Nems, as well in the building. Smash the likes, as Mustafa says there, people. Big up to Touchline as well. Spurs' next few fixtures are looking dark. 3-0 Newcastle. You always go a bit too far. Like, I get Spurs. I'm not confident for this game either. But 3-0, I think you're pushing it. I think you're pushing it, Touchline. Your fixtures aren't looking dark, but they'll get dark because you're Manchester United. It's one of them ones. Not an English breakfast tea. That doesn't look yellow, bro. English breakfast tea is brown. Just looks like coffee. English breakfast tea just looks like coffee. Throw a couple sugars in there, you know, you're good to go. Big up to Non Gaming, says big up my brother. pay your rent frauds and hit the like button. I big up to a non-gaming, man. Newcastle versus Spurs. What's to start that game for Newcastle United now? Win it for Newcastle now. Ray, do you know what? I actually was trying to check the Newcastle team news because that's one thing that I needed to confirm. Who have they got available? Is Vissa available? Is Gordon? Because I've been seeing, obviously, they do quite a bit of rotations with their lineups. One thing I'll give to Eddie Howe is he's got a nice bit of rotation going on over there, and they've got a good squad, good depth where they can allow themselves to do that. But at the same time, who they start in that front line could be a big difference to how we want to approach the game. So, I'm not gonna lie. We need to get up that team news ASAP. Durag, I used to support Tottenham. Keyword used to way back. Growing up, I was forced. I saw the future and bounced in time. I don't know how you Tottenham fans can do it for real. Let's get something straight. Splash effect. From you supported a team, you support that team. So the fact that you think you changed or was allowed to change is just foolishness because you still support Tottenham. You can tell other people you support another team, but you definitely still support Tottenham. You are a Tottenham fan. Stop denying. You can't deny your family name. Yeah, you can change your name, but your family name is still your family name. Your mum is your mum. Tottenham is your club. You started with Tottenham, you'll always be Tottenham. It's simple as that. We ain't doing no changing teams around here like one Transformers, Optimus Primes. We're not on any of that. You're a Tottenham fan. So, splash effect, you're down in the dumps with us. Big up to my guy, Keros. I'm all right, bro. How you doing? I don't know as well, Splash. I'll be honest. But Newcastle away, Brentford home, Forest away, Liverpool home, Palace away. Can only see one win. That's fine. We'll have to see how it plays out. I don't think all these teams are in great form. They're all going up and down. Look, we're gonna get onto that. Yes, facts. It's definitely a lifetime contract to be supporting the club. But on to team news. Got Newcastle's team news up here. And I will just read it out in full. So it says Eddie Howe has provided a mixed injury update ahead of tonight's clash. Goalkeeper Nick Pope remains a major doubt as the club waits proper diagnosis. Therefore, Ramsdale is expected to continue between the sticks. Now, I've heard that is just bullshit, and that apparently Ramsdale is just a bit better for them. And I think it's understandable. Nick Pope's the better shot stopper. Similar to us, I feel like we have our very own Nick Pope in goal in Vicario, who's a great shot stopper, but with his feet, he's just an absolute bozo who doesn't really help the team play out from the back. He doesn't help in the build-up and gives away the ball at important points, and has probably caused a few mistakes leading to goal because of that. And Nick Pope is exactly the same, whereas Aaron Ramsdale is a decent shot stopper, but is really good with the ball at his feet, being able to play through the lines effectively, on the floor, long passes. But he's got that sort of mid to long range on point. That's that 20 to 40 yard pass. He's got that on point. And I'm saying 40 yard like there's on a long pass, but like let's say 15 to 30 yards, like from the goalkeeper's box to not at the halfway line, but just before the halfway line. He's got that on point. We need Vicario to get a lot better at that because it's more time, it's decision making, it's choosing what pass to make. You just need to be a bit smarter with the ball, but also, of course, have the execution to play it. He definitely don't. His ball, like, it's got to a point where I'm seeing Van der Ven take goal kicks. We're going back to the the fucking 90s when you've got centre backs taking goal kicks for goalkeepers. Like, it's bro. Madness. But big up to my guy Godfrey coming in here with a member chat who has been a member for 4 months of delinquentship. He's been 4 months of delinquentship. And on that note, look, people, if you want to be like Godfrey, if you want to become a member, you can join the delinquents, you can join the descendants by tapping the link in the pinned comment now. Go to that link in that pinned comment and you can have 4 months of delinquentship or descendantship like Godfrey has in the building. But yeah, onwards from their team news, they said Sven Botman is unavailable. That guy is always unavailable. He's scheduled to see a specialist to determine his next steps for his injury. When is this guy not injured? I heard, man, and I can't believe, man, we're trying to say Sven Botman is better than Mickey van der Ven. Mickey van der Ven. Sven Botman hasn't got shit on him. Let's just have it right. Decent defender. Good on his day. Van der Ven is a better all-round defender. He's just got things and attributes that he doesn't have. His reading of the game has got a lot better for Van der Ven, but also, let's be right, that pace and that tackling ability is second to none. There's not many defenders that can make those challenges, those last-ditch challenges like Van der Ven does. You know, I don't want to start bigging Van der Ven up a bit too much today because there's a big performance ahead of him. Voltemada, a player who's tall, strong, smart, is going to cause a problem because he's aerially a threat, an area where Van der Ven has improved, but still, especially in the defensive zones, still has some problems. So we need to see Romero and Van der Ven really be on point today if we are to pick up any type of points or get anything from the game. So, yeah, I can't even lie. Like, Voltemada is going to be an issue for Van der Ven today. He will be. But the brighter news for Newcastle is Johan Visser has stepped up his recovery by participating in a training game. However, he's unlikely to be rushed back for the fixture. So I did see someone put in regarding Visser playing today. It looks like he probably won't be rushed back for the fixture, but he has been playing in a behind closed doors friendly or training games, they've said, and similar to like Dragusin, probably still not available for a few weeks. Big up to Ghosted in the building, who's back with the membership. We have a new... Let me just double check. Let me double check which one it is. We have a new Durag delinquent in the building. You know, one of them ones. Little announcement. Big up to Ghosted for becoming a member. Again, renewing his membership. We appreciate you, my bro, every single time. Hey, Jords, do you think Van der Ven could replace VVD at Liverpool? Whoa. The only link they have is the letters in their name and the fact that they're Dutch. Van der Ven is not going from Spurs to Liverpool. Let's have that right. Unless you're going to be throwing up 125 mil, which I know you're not afraid of doing that. It's definitely not happening. Liverpool are not buying Tottenham players. That hasn't happened since like fucking Robbie Keane or something, bruv. Man, like Tottenham don't sell to Premier League clubs. People need to get that out of their head. Unless it's some stupid money, we're not a small club. We don't be selling to our rivals. And yeah, Liverpool's not really a rival of ours. I'll be real, they're not. But at the same time, are we going to sell to Liverpool? A team that at times we compete with in the Premier League. Not very often, but we might compete with them for like a 5th place or something. But it's just not going to happen, innit? So I hear it. And yeah, Van Dijk would be a good backup to Van der Ven, especially right now. He'd be a very good backup. Van Dijk would like sit on the bench. But also on the team news, Malik Thiaw should retain his place in the team after scoring a brace of headers, and whilst Lewis Miley is pushing for a start after recording a goal and assist off the bench. They've got Newcastle's predicted lineup as Ramsdale in goal, Livramento, Thiaw, Shaw, Burn, then Miley, Tonali, Gomares in the middle of the pitch with Murphy, Voltemada, and Gordon leading the front line. So pretty much full team available, barring Botman, barring Nick Pope. They have a very, very good team news. On the Spurs side of things, let's go into this press conference that we have up over here, where we can really view what Thomas Frank is saying. And yeah, sorry, it is going to come up in this mode because my screen is set in portrait at the moment. So I'm going to read it like this, which actually looks a little bit better, to be honest. Let's go to this one. Can you guys still see that well? I can see that well. You guys can still see it well? Works for me. So what is the team news ahead of Newcastle? Everyone ready for the Fulham squad is ready for Newcastle tomorrow. Cool. So team news for us. Everyone's available. I expect and this is a bit. I expect to see Xavi in that starting. I expect to see Xavi in that starting lineup. There's going to be a very, very, very big problem if Xavi's not in that starting lineup. I don't know if you guys remember that first Newcastle game, but I took a lot of confidence from that Newcastle game. They were leaving a lot of space in the middle of the pitch, especially in those sort of left half space and the right half space, because they were so narrow and compact. Xavi is the one player we need in this game in order to play through the lines, in order to build up through the lines. Our problem far too often is we keep doing this direct football, no identity, long ball into the channels. For one, we're not even... It's like it would be smart to do the long ball if we're soaking up the pressure and then springing them on the counter attack. But we don't spring them on the counter attack well because we have so many players back when we're trying to soak up the pressure. We defend with a 6 in our box, 6 players in the box. The central midfielders drop in between the lines in the box. And that's why we've been conceding so many goals on the edge of the box. If you saw the goal that we conceded, the first one against Fulham, we tried to counteract it and put Bergvall in front of the defense, but because, again, we got caught on the counter and we were running backwards, Bergvall didn't necessarily get himself in the best position to defend that ball across the goal. So when they put it across and he tried to stick his leg out, and to be fair, it was a poor pass from them, but ultimately went to the right player because it gave him the space to go finish it on the edge of the box. It was just another reason and another sign as to why Spurs need to improve the structure at the back defensively. Thomas Frank needs to address the spaces that we leave on the edge of the box. Also, the spaces that we don't give ourselves in the build-up. Far too often, and I was seeing the overlap breakdown talk about this. And look, I know I'm not the most articulate person, so at times it's probably tough to understand what I'm trying to say, in particular with regards to like the tactical setup. But how many times have I been telling you guys that in the build-up, the reason why we can't ever play through teams and teams that press high kill us is because the angles that Paulinho and Bentancur create are non-existent. They hide behind the press. When you have a front three pressing, you should then have your midfielders stepping in front of them, but also coming out wide to create angles to receive a pass. You should always be trying to receive the pass with the whole pitch in front of you. What we tried to do against PSG was play through the lines with Sars back to goal. So when he received it, didn't know the player was behind him, tried to turn, got clattered, and I'm not being funny, the goal happened. It's so stupidness. And you're just sat there and you're like, how, why, what? But at least Spurs were trying to play through the lines at that time. At one point, we should have cleared it. We're trying to play through the lines. So then today, if we are going to try to play through the lines, we need to see the midfielders create angles. I don't need to be seeing Paulinho and Bentancur start in the midfield together yet again. We need to see a better team selection. I don't need to see Richarlison in the lineup yet again. He's just told us our team news is everyone that was available on the weekend is available today. So that means that we have a full squad pretty much available, barring Solanke, Kulusevski, Maddison. We have a full squad available. You started Richarlison. Bentancur didn't start in this game, but he started in the game before that. Drop them. Leave them out. And let's just go with the team that we know can work, a team that has nice balance that we're going to get onto a little bit later. So stay here for that. Make sure you guys smashing the likes as well. I don't know what the likes are on, but make sure you're doing that. Owen coming, my brother, unfortunately, but sack Frank to get who and do what. Keep Clownboy until the end of the season, then recuperate. Yeah, I don't know about that, Ray Dark. I don't know about that, to be honest. What's good to Elijah as well? Bergvall, rest him. I think we need to start Bergvall, I'll be honest. If Bergvall or Saar need to start, but you guys know me, my preference is always going to be Bergvall. Saar didn't start on the weekend, so I'd guess that Saar's probably going to start tonight, which is still cool by me. Still cool. But as long as it's Bergvall or Saar next to Paulinho, I don't have a problem. What has Xavi done starting realistically? It's not about what he has done to start. It's about what he's not done to not start. Or sorry, what's he done to not start? He didn't do horribly I say the Chelsea game didn't have a great game. Manchester United, he come on and he looked positive. Arsenal couldn't do anything. PSG, come on, again, looked a little bit positive, but didn't really do much. There's only so much he can do with the little bits of games that he's getting. And then again, we're trying to play with a number 10, but we're not using the number 10 to his strengths. You're playing over the number 10, not playing through the number 10. That's where some of the issues are lying right now. So we need to find a balance there. Thomas Frank needs to sort this out. He needs to sort this out. But Mr. Jords, big up to Machina Joe. They whistle and boo hard in Italy, Spain, and the Balkans and South America. Players must say sorry to their ultras when they play shit. Football is not test match cricket or Wimbledon tennis. I get what you mean, and I understand. I'm not necessarily playing. I'm not necessarily blaming Thomas Frank or the fans for their actions. I do think it's highly counterproductive to boo a team mid-game, especially on every time the player's getting a touch. It's very counterproductive for a senior player at that. Someone that a lot of fans a lot of fans have credited points won this season to him. He's sorry, people, my throat is man. Honestly, this chest infection has been fucking me up. It's fucking me up real bad. Give me a second. Oh my god. About to choke on my lungs, but I swear down. My apologies, people. But yes, with regards to like Vicario in particular, I get some of the frustration, but when he was stopping us from having an embarrassing performance against Chelsea, against even Arsenal's saving game, Bodo Glimt, Monaco, we need to understand that, like, now going and booing him when he makes his first mistake isn't what true fans do. That's just not. I have not grown up to be a fan that way. If you want to be upset consistently and complain, I hear it. But I have not grown up to be a fan of my club to sit there and boo players after they make a mistake. I've been a coach. I know what it's like to, and I've been a player. I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of like not a good game and, you know, have to be berated and so on. But also, I know what it's like to be a player and you're having a bad game. You're already pissed off yourself. People don't get players beat up themselves more than anyone else will beat them up. He's probably gone home, watched about that mistake. It's gone mad. It's probably been fuming for days about it because that's how it gets. But for fans to sit there and pile it on during the game, not even after the game, during the game, you're trying to make him feel even more nervous than he was in the first place with the ball at his feet. So it's just being counterproductive. Like, I got what Thomas Frank was saying. If people want to sit here and say, oh, but like the fans do this in other countries, and that's fine. I get what you're saying, Machina Joe, but I'm not with it personally. I'm not with it. But let me just catch up on this little piece. So look, as he says here, what's your message to the supporters ahead of tomorrow's game? As I said after the game, completely understand the frustration. Like, if we don't win, there'll always be frustration. Pardon me. So that's normal. It's part of it. Also, when we haven't won as much as we want to at home, not only this year, but also the last long period. I don't know how long that is, maybe years, maybe more. So of course, then the frustration maybe can grow a little bit more. So that's understandable. It's my job to do what I can to make sure we are calm, look at the things in a way where we split things up in terms of performance, what is impacted, and how we try to build the team. So I think that's part of it. We are nothing without our fantastic fans, nothing. So we need each other. There's nothing more we want to do than making them happy in every way. My point was during matches, that's where we need each other. After, fair with the booing, but during, that's where I want to create a fortress. And I think some of you guys probably have even more up-to-date stats in terms of how many games we won, lost, or draw to the last couple of years. But if any club wants to be successful, you need to create a fortress. And this is where I'm at. We need to make Tottenham. We used to talk about how White Hart Lane was one of the 12th man. White Hart Lane was the 12th man. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is not that case. Yes, prior to the game, we can be loud, we could be scary, we can have our tifos that look amazing. But unless the atmosphere actually carries that throughout the full 90 minutes, there's no point. There's no point of doing the hype thing before the game, they're not maintaining that energy during the game. And that's what it's a part of. I'm not sitting here calling fans out because I don't think the team helps. The team was playing good, they'd be a lot louder. But we definitely have to admit that, like, that is a fact. That is a fact that needs to be taken into consideration. If we're sacking Frank, get it done before January so we don't waste any more January transfer window. No point in bringing on more players for Frank and then sacking him. Yeah, I get that. I don't think players are necessarily brought in for Frank. They're brought in for, like, the sporting directors. Like, I think they work with Frank, but a lot of the time it's just we choose a player. Frank, you're going to work with this one. Jords, I got ill literally the day after we met up with dark Elijah. So dark, brother. And see, I'd love to say that it wasn't me because I'm coming out on the other side of it right now. I'd love to say it wasn't me because we were definitely not sitting that close. But it might have been me. And I apologize if it was. But it might have just been being outside because, being outside right now in this weather, I feel like everyone's just picking up something. It's mad. It's mad. Vicario didn't do anything, bro. He was doing his job saving shots, most of which were straight at him, and Bromo Header should have been saved. Brighton both goals. Nah, man, people are going mad. You're going mad, Ray Dark, to sit here and try and act like the Mbeumo one. Yeah, I got that. Mbeumo one could have been saved, but again, we didn't lose the game. Like, we came back into the game and gave away the game at the end anyway. It wasn't down to him. Brighton both goals. Yeah, the Brighton ones, I think one of them was a banger, so I don't know. But fans will always boo when the level of quality isn't there. Fans of the stadium were sold a dream and have been paying. That's the problem. We were sold a dream, not by the club, not by the players, by the club. So a lot of the time the booing is towards the club, but the players are obviously the ones that represent us, and they do need to understand that like the relationship between the club and the fans has been broken for a while and is trying to repair it. That's why we had all of these changes over the summer, because they want to put in a new processes to try and repair that relationship. It's a process. It's a process that we're going through. Well, we've been paying high ticket prices since 2020, expecting Tottenham to compete for titles. The burn should be towards the owners for the crap we've watched on the Frank, Ange, Conte, Jose, Nuno. This is an Enoch problem. They told fans things had changed and the stadium was a game changer. Yeah, it's not that stuff pisses me off even hearing about that. So yeah, of course, you've often spoken about staying calm during difficult spells. What's the message to the players? How are you keeping the calm? We of course have meetings yesterday and today. Yesterday, of course, like normal, debriefing the Fulham game. Today, looking more forward to Newcastle. There'll be some meetings tomorrow. As I said from the beginning, we want to build something sustainable that can compete in all tournaments, and we have a squad that is learning from last year, playing Premier League and Europa League. Going into this year, we're playing Champions League. I want to do well in the Premier League. That's competing on both fronts, but that's something that takes some time to learn physically and mentally. We're searching to find the right formula that will click, while we have to rotate some players to keep freshness, keep the intensity high, and look a bit at the injury risk and stuff like that. As a good example, this period we're in right now, we play 4 games, 4 fantastic games in 10 days. So there's 2 days between the games. That's only of the 5 Champions League clubs, probably fair to say, probably with a squad that's not used to it as the others. No problem. That's just why we are learning along the way. We also had a spell early in the season. I think it was Everton, Newcastle, Chelsea, Copenhagen. All ours was 2-2-2. It was only us and Arsenal that had that. The fact is that you have 2 days between times. It's just more complicated. It's not impossible. We still need to perform. We still need to win matches. Yes, and this is really what I wanted to get onto, was what does Xavi Simons need to show you to earn a few more minutes? Great question. Great question from whoever asked it, yeah. I'll zoom in a little piece for this one for you, man. There's a reason why we got Xavi here. Is there now? There's a reason why. I don't understand that reason, because you're not playing him to his strengths or playing him in his position or playing him at all. But sure, there was a reason why we got him here. You are right. I think he's a very good player in every aspect. Xavi has trained well in the last couple of days and in general training well. I think also that we talked about before, it's not the first time a player is stepping into the Premier League and they just need a little bit of adaptation to hit the ground running. That's one thing. The physical league, but also to play games every 3rd or 4th day, and then in a team that's maybe not top in sync. How can we help each other? That's part of the process. Don't really know what he's saying there. He's just saying everything that he said before, and I'm not hearing it, but cool, Thomas Frank, whatever you say. If he doesn't start again tonight, then I just know that you're waffling. This is a long interview. I feel like I've not got through anything. Let's try find some questions that are like relevant in it. I don't care how you man a relationship with fans. It's 13 goals conceded in the last 4 games. Is there anything you've noticed why it's maybe not looking as good as the defense at the moment? You can say the 4 goals we conceded against Man United, Fulham, some of the goals I would like to avoid a bit more. Also, those 2 games, if you can see the actual amount of shots we conceded, I think we conceded 5 shots and 7 shots. It's very low. Now he's doing copium. This is clear. It's clear. Clear lies. He's talking about conceding 7 shots against Fulham because they scored 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. They didn't need to shoot for the rest of the fucking game. So I'm not hearing about the XG. If you can see at the XG, you can see those games are very low. No, the games weren't good. They didn't attack. We are talking about 2 of the worst attacking teams in the Premier League. Don't talk to me about how good Tottenham's defense is against the worst attacks. What is this? I can't even lie. I'm starting to get an ick. Bro. My man's just waffling, fam. Waffling. Is the plan to eventually settle on focus and develop one particular system? For me, it's always kind of the principles that is the most important thing. How we build up. We don't have build up. So when you say how we build up, what is the principle in the build up? Because we don't build up. We just fucking hoof it long. We hoof it long, bro. What are we on about? What are we even talking about? If it's, what do we do when we split the centre backs? What do we do when we have a sitter or 2 sitters? What do we do in a position in front of that? How do we attack when playing the one on the side, or how do we press? That will always be more or less the same, no matter if you play 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 3-4-3, whatever. It's always guiding the principles. Our principles are non-existent. That is the problem right now. The principles we have are not very clear. They're not great. And it doesn't even look like a clear structure that the players understand. Oh, bro. He actually is a scientist at this point. This guy is a scientist. The guy is I hate to say it, but he's just a magnet mover right now. He's just a magnet mover right now because, boy, oh boy. I don't even want to read no more. Let's do our lineups. Let's do our lineups for today. Let's do our lineups, bro. Let's do our lineups. Bro, let's get lineups going because I don't even want to read any more into this. He's doing my head in. He's actually doing my head in. Man said Frank will be sacked after the Brentford game, if not after tonight. Yeah, I can't lie. Frank loses to Brentford, his old club, in this state, getting sacked. Losing to a guy that was a set piece coach. You took all the coaches out there and said, yeah, set piece coach, go do your thing. And you lose to him. Heads will be rolling. Heads will be rolling. I'm telling you now. Heads will be rolling. But let's build our team, man. We're going to go Big Vic in goal. Don't care what you guys say. I ain't changing my goalkeeper. Big Vic is the guy to lead us right now. And then I'm going to go Porro at right back. It's just what makes sense, isn't it? Just what makes sense. No. I want to move that up. Just leave that. And then we're gonna go, obviously, Romero, Van der Ven at the back. If anyone's got any interesting additions, please let me do know. And then I think he's gonna go Spence in at left back because Spence had a rest on the weekend. And then I reckon he goes Paulinho. In fact, do you want me to be honest? Paulinho played 2 days ago. I think he goes Bentancur, Sarr, Xavi. This is generally how I think he's going to pull it. Let me just... I think he does. Do you know what? Nah, Kudus will start. I was just thinking about it. I was going... He might actually go Brennan Johnson, but Kudus scored in the last game and he actually looked kind of positive. So I think Kudus is going to start. I think he goes Tell. People are going to be surprised, but I generally think he goes Tell. And I think he goes Moani. think Tell's not played in a while, so he's going to give Tell a start. Odobert hasn't necessarily looked the best in his last game. Odobert's young, very up and down, has a good game, has a shit game. This is actually what I think it might be. I think it might look a bit like this today. Let me know if you guys think this is the team that we go ahead. And if this is the team that we go ahead with, what's the predicted score lines? I've literally only got like another 5-6 minutes before I've got to head out, guys. So let me know your score predictions in the chat. But look, going into today, I think the key thing is we need a performance. We need a top performance. Whether the result is a 1-1, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, I just need a convincing top performance. If Spurs lose, it needs to be a very lucky loss for us to not want Thomas Frank out of this club. I do think it's a bit early. I do think that he's maybe not had so much time to find and build what he wants his Tottenham team to look like. But ultimately, we need to be honest with ourselves. The identity is lacking. The structure is not there. We lack good team selections. His team selections have been poor. He's taken too long to react in games and make the right substitutions. I'm just not seeing enough to convince me that this is the right man to lead us. I didn't want Thomas Frank in the first place, so I'm not that attached to him. But definitely now, I'm like, yo, Thomas, you're on your last legs. You're on your last legs. You got a couple more chances. Today is one of them. The weekend might very well be your last chance, and you're going against your old club. Please give us something tonight. This lineup, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd prefer Paulinho in for Bentancur, 100%, but I wouldn't even be mad. Throw Tell in on the left-hand side. I actually think you're going to get a better side out of Tell when he starts on the left and he can rotate with Kolo Muani. You've now got two players that can understand each other, that can do a bit of the fluid front three. If anything, really and truly, with a front three like this, Thomas Frank should be trying to make them as fluid as possible. Of course, you're going to want Kudus out on that right-hand side, but if Kudus comes in the middle, get Muani to drop in, Tell to push up, Xavi to shift out to the left. You should be able to rotate this three in-game. They should all be able to swap positions. You need to give them a little more creative freedom in the way that we attack. Far too often, it's get the ball out wide, cross it in. Get the ball out wide, cross it in. I get that can be a principle at a lower end side, but we need to see better solutions of creation in our team. We're just not seeing anything, any little attacking patterns. I don't even see 1-2s. I'm not seeing triangles. I'm not seeing anything to show that this team is working on ways to break down sides when attacking. So we need to rely on individual brilliance, putting players on like Simmons, who has individual brilliance, Tell, who can strike a ball, and Kudus, who can dribble at his man. That's the players that I would choose today. Richarlison cannot, and I mean cannot, play today. I cannot see Richarlison start. It's just not on. And yeah, look, this is my predicted lineup, innit? Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the chat. I think you man should go 3 at the back and 3 centre mids for this game. Dogi should be able to handle that wing with Kolo and Richarlison. No, I'm not with that. I'm not doing that thing again. I'm not doing that thing again. Whoa, boss, 3 again's got 5-2 Newcastle. Dog. This guy, you just said to go with 3 at the back and 3 centre mids, and we should be able to handle. And you've gone 3-1 Newcastle. Thank you for your great advice. Boss J's got 3-0 Tell hat-trick. Oh, we can only wish. We can only wish. But 4-3 Newcastle, Kudus brace. That sounds like it could happen. I do feel like this game's got a lot of goals in it today. Just want the best mud club. I'm sick of us being a laughing stock for all the other clubs in it. Just need to fix and get it right, or just exit ourselves from the big 6 because we don't act like a big 6 club. Afternoon, Jords. This team is good, but put Spence right back and Destiny left back. Spence is restricted playing left back. He likes cutting inside too much and he's predictable there. I've got Spence being a defensive left back in it. Like, I don't think that you necessarily need 2 full. Like, it doesn't help when we don't have someone overlapping down that left hand side. But if you actually play with a left winger, you can let that left winger do majority of the work and just have Spence making some of the overlapping runs to distract defenders. You don't need him to be amazing in the final third if you have a proper left winger. When we're playing with Bergvall, playing with fucking Sarr covering the left-hand side, or even Xavi at times, you haven't got someone who's out and out, can run down the wing and take on their man. Tell and Odobert can do that, so it's not needed as much to play with Dogi, but it does help with the combinations. Down on that left-hand side. Richarlison will score off the bench. Nah, I don't know about that. I want to draw, but Newcastle will probably win this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 1-1. I just can't see Spurs winning. I do think there's a lot of goals in this. And you know what? Let me say 2-2. I'm gonna say 2-2 instead. I can't see Spurs winning. I see there's gonna be a lot of goals in the game, and I'm just like, you're just down and out, accepting where you're at right now. I think that's where I am with Spurs. I'm just accepting the fact that we're probably not going to win this game. So it is what it is. I got 2-1 Newcastle, unfortunately. I think everybody has Newcastle to win tonight. Up the Magpies, 3-0. Yeah, it's not looking good. Ghosted 4-0 Newcastle. Dark times. This is dark. I don't think I've ever seen my chat so negative going into a Spurs game, to the point where nobody's predicted a Spurs win. Nobody's predicted a Spurs win. And I get it. I can't even predict a Spurs win, so I don't expect you guys to. But this is truly, truly dark times, because I ain't ever seen it this bad. I'll say that. I ain't ever seen it this bad. But look, people, I am going to be sending you over to... Is nobody live? Is nobody live right now? Am I the only person live? Is it that mad? I'm still the only person live. Let me quickly check. Oh, nobody is live. All right, so I'm just gonna send you over to Sava. He kicks off in like 10 minutes. I think Sava kicks off real soon. So you guys just go DRD raid up his chat before he does kick off. Let him know you've come over from the boy. And yeah, look, later on, match reaction will be back. Maybe doing my 6 o'clock show. So sort of again another preview, but a prem preview at that point with Jimmy. So look out for that, potentially 6 p.m. today, 6:30, right before the game. So when the watch alongs be going on, but we'll be doing a sort of a match preview going into the Newcastle game. But yeah, look, people, big up to you guys inside. Been a nice, quick, early one. Make sure you smash the likes on your way out. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. And look, God bless. Goodbye. Have a good day, people, man. For real.